Well, I want to join my thank you. I think we should all give a big round of applause to the doctors, the volunteers, and the team who put this together. Thank you, guys. Awesome conference. I think being involved with those for a few years, it used to be easy. You know, we could explain everything in CMT in 2 hours. Now there's so much going on that we actually, if you notice, had to add an extra half a day today. And it's a huge challenge for the team actually to fit everything without overwhelming you with too much information, but yet providing us depth of what we're doing. So I thought they did a great job today. You know, give us your feedback, but that was really, really a great balance here. So awesome. And for me, it's incredibly heartwarming to see how far we've come, you know, the last 10 years with the STAR program. I mean, the whole idea of STAR, and I think you can feel this in this meeting, is the basic idea of STAR was to make CMT attractive, right? Way back when, no company was interested in CMT, a few brilliant researchers. So when we started STAR, this whole idea is let's create an ecosystem that's much more attractive. And I think you got a feel for this today, right? I mean, all the things going on everywhere, the companies, the scientists, the talents. Okay, this was created thanks to you in the last few years. Okay, and this is what STAR was about, is that create this incredibly vibrant ecosystem that makes CMT interesting, exciting, because you need that. That's a step number one, okay, to bring therapies and cures to this community. So we can be very proud of that. That's the good news. The bad news, it's only step one. And I would almost venture to say that's the easiest step. When things get very difficult in drug development is when you start treating people, and what people call the clinical stage. So what we did for the last 5-6 years is creating this ecosystem. I think I'm not going to go back to it. I think Sue and others showed you nice summaries of it. You know, buzzwords like the toolbox, biomarkers, on and on and on, and all things. I mean, basically, those $30 million were basically spent to create that ecosystem. And with all this stuff going on, I'm going to try to summarize in 3 major messages, right? The first one I just did is we are kind of well along the way in this first step of STAR, which is creating this really exciting, vibrant ecosystem, and you saw that today. And thanks for that. Now the next step, what I call STAR 2.0, or maybe CMT is entering what some of the doctors call the age of therapies. We are starting now to see treatments being applied to us, right? It's the very beginning. And so what does this mean? On one hand, it's very exciting, right? Because it's all what we wanted. It's also, we have to be open-eyed. It's a very challenging time because it's a very expensive part of the development. So it takes a lot of money. It takes companies a lot of, I think, of resources. It's also where things sometimes can be disappointing. Remember, 90% of the drugs fail in clinical trials. Okay, so we have to be ready for this. So the second message is, yes, we're entering the second phase, this phase of therapies, and we have to up our game. It's going to take more effort, more money, more work. I think Vera did a great job describing you the clinical ecosystem we're starting to develop. The NC did a great job. Without that work that started just a few years ago, none of the companies working on CMT now would even consider working on CMT because it'd be like a dead end. Okay. Now we're able to run some clinical trials, especially on the most common type of CMTs, but it's only the beginning. So this second phase is very exciting, but we as a community, we have to up our game because, and as an organization, we are already stepping up our investment big time in that area because that's a major bottleneck now. We're going to continue to invest in, the preclinical and the projects and all this, the gene therapies. But if you do all this and then there's a door in the end of your funnel, people don't want to come work with us. So we have to prove that all those exciting therapies can be proven to work in patients. And this is a very complex process. The FDA, blah, blah, blah. So this all was started a few years ago with the INC. We funded a lot of our micro projects, but I tell you, we're only at the beginning. So we need your support. And that leads to my third point, because we have to step up our game, all right? We need to raise more money. We're committing more money because this is a critical phase. This is where it gets interesting. And the third point I want you to remember is, and you've heard this many times, this is 100% funded by this community. This is our thing. This is our project. This is our initiative. You should all be very proud of it. But the other side of it, which is really interesting, is because we get our money from the community, we spend very little money fundraising, marketing, and all this stuff. So if you've heard about the 90% goes to mission, it's incredibly difficult to do that. This 100% rating by Charity Navigator, when I looked at it, there were maybe 200,000 charities they worked on in the medical field. There were like a dozen that could do that. Okay, we do that. But we do that because of you. Because we don't have to hire hundreds of people to raise money and people on the phone. We do this because you guys trust us and you support us. So it recreates this really virtuous circle because we create trust and we be able to be very efficient with the money you do, and then we could do more and more things, especially now that we're getting to this very exciting phase, but very expensive phase, to be honest. So that's the third message. So I know we covered a lot of stuff, but I want to kind of bring it down to those three things, and they never give you much time. Someone learned that lesson a few years ago. But bottom line, everything you see today, it's ours, okay? This is not a spectator sport. We all have a role to play. You've all played a role. And I tell you, we can feel good about other things, but there's a lot more to do. So looking forward to doing more with you guys. Thank you.